have an exec session?
We need about 5 minutes.
Before that?
Right now? Or when?
Before we get started?
Yeah. After we get this all, it's just real quick.
Looks good, man.
No, nothing.
And that's benefits, both of those.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
The minutes?
I mean, the AP.
Oh, okay. AP looks like $107,464.75. All in favor? Aye. And what's this one? This is, must be payroll stuff, benefits and stuff. For the 23rd, it says, August 23rd. You know what that is?
That'd be Tuesday.
No?
Yeah.
What about minutes? You guys get a chance to go over those?
I haven't yet.
It's kind of stinky, right?
It really, yeah. I think I told Sean, I said, I forgot to pay the bill, I'm not sure.
They will shut it off. What'd you think on that? What'd you say about it?
Benefits.
Okay. So they've got another benefits here for $159,092.30. So all in favor? Aye. Good luck, Emmett.
Darren, did you motion to approve?
Yes.
Thank you. Can we take this to Bennett?
Sure, why not? Or you can set it here if you don't want to walk all the way over there.
No.
Darren, do you want to hit me too?
He's the only one.
No.
Just
Did
kidding.
what?
You crying to me.
Well, it's no same arm.
Yeah, the same
You
arm.
could have a dead arm today.
I'm kidding.
And you sent the minutes out, didn't you?
Yeah. It wasn't like a separate email. It wasn't at the notes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It went to the clerk's office.
Which minutes have we approved, all three of them?
Yep. 2 special meetings and 1 regular last Monday.
Can I have you guys sign meetings? She just want me to sheet.
No, we can't do it. It's already been done.
Oh. They can sign it.
We have to punch in the arm first. The right one.
Then I won't be able to work. Work comp.
I'm telling you next time, that's gonna happen.
That was my fault. Yeah.
Okay, so you want some time?
5 minutes. 5 minutes. Real quick.
Okay, so you want Amy in here? Okay. Darren made a motion to go in executive session. Subject to be discussed will be personnel matters, right?
Yep.
The justification for closing the meeting is to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. The open meeting will resume in this room at 9:11. All in favor? Aye. Mr. Gerber, you remember executive sessions, don't you?
What's that?
You remember executive sessions from your school days?
Yes.
We're going to go into one.
Right?
Huh?
You're about to do
For about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Won't take us long.
So you did my head too, they don't know. Hold on, hold on. I don't so much about it either. Always makes me nervous when Sarah calls
Well,
me.
I don't know what's going on there because I just shut the whole thing off. Okay.
You only have hard, yeah.
Oh, wait.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
And then
Come on up, Gerber. No need sitting down there. Just will come on up.
No, I kept saying no action taken, but I gotta turn it back.
Oh, he's still sitting down here.
Yeah, no action taken in that executive session.
So you don't get back at me then.
No, that's all I was getting to make sure I had the mic turned on for.
Morning, Gerber. Good to see you again. Morning, Gerber. Good to see you again.
Did you get rain down that way? Or were you down there last night? Did you get rain down that way? Or were you down there last night? Down in Amarita, they had a flood, looked like. Down in Amarita, they had a flood. You might have been on the east side of that. You might have been on the east side of that.
No rain this month. No rain this month.
No. I think it was back to the wall for us.
I haven't had rain since
back to the wall for us.
I haven't had rain since before harvest.
I had a total of 19.4 inches for the year. I keep close track 4 inches for the year. I keep pretty close track 11 inches of that was in 1 month.
Yeah.
11 inches of that was in 1 month. Affecting the rate.
Your pond hanging in down there. It's not pond hanging in down there. It's not.
I was small one acre out in front of the house, near the drive, 1 acre out back, it's near the drive, about 3 feet out back, it's.
That's spring. That's when it's spring in it. You get spring in that one spring. That's when it's spring in it. You get spring in that one.
Well, water temperature will find that it's all spring, and spring, it's all spring, total.
But the one in the back's the one you fish out of, I think, though, right? But the one in the back, that's the one you fish out of, right? Yeah, the one in the back, that's the one you fish out of, right? Yeah.
Well, it's a big fish, and it's a big fish, and I repaired it, it got moved out, pond, I repaired it, it got moved out, the pond,
Oh, you got a bunch of water over on there.
You
got a bunch of water over on there.
Took out of them, from spring down our way, took out of them, fish up on the carport, picked fish up on the.
Oh, wow.
Carport, and the house.
Oh, wow.
Out the pond, and to the north, we looked out the pond, the road, to the north, a mile further west, looked out the road, a mile further west, out the road.
Have you seen the big cat down there lately?
Yes.
Have you seen the big cat down there lately?
It's like a 10.
Right, really.
About 3 weeks ago, 10, about 3 weeks ago.
That's pretty close to home, what Brandon or Adrian was telling me.
It was just right outside the house.
Yeah.
Here, Keith.
I seen it,
Quit feeding, Gary.
I seen it 3 times, the Black Panther,
Yeah.
and then I've seen mountain lions a mile and a half north of the house 3 times. And then
That's a good place for them down there.
around the corner on Latimer Road, the road, from Sandy Corner to the west toward Burlington. I've seen mountain lions 3 or 4 times out on that highway.
Don't want to go out after dark too much, do you? You don't want to go out after dark by yourself.
No, and I'm not saying, but if you're gonna go out, carry it.
Or walk with somebody a little bit slower, maybe.
You just can't go out there without taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah.
Now, game ranger won't agree with that,
It's all right. We got a game ranger.
Well, it's 9:15. You want to start, Darren?
Yeah. Okay, Gerber, I called you
but, yeah,
about our radio issues we have.
yeah, I've got some questions. And I'll explain a little bit, my knowledge regarding this sort of thing, is that I spent a great deal of time with, building repeaters. And my repeaters have always been on 140 some megahertz, like 146, 47. And then over here, higher frequency, 443. And I can link those two together. Takes a couple of radios, but I can link them together and connect them. And we have done that I started that down around our area. They've added to that totally, we can talk from north of Hutch, a long ways, to Oklahoma City, out west of Great Bend, east of the state line. So that whole area is connected, and that's similar to what your 800 megahertz is doing for your emergency services. The problem is you're having trouble reaching that. So where is the 800 megahertz repeater?
Landfill, isn't it?
It's where?
So, I think it's landfill. See what we got? That's some of the problem. Our sheriff department.
Well, you have,
No, they're proposing that we put the 800 repeaters there.
Right.
That's where they,
okay,
But on top of that problem, our sheriff department right now, plus our EMS, are running 800s.
so that's the proposed location, that's up there that they would put it. And then, so the red kind of maroon area is that covers that 800 radio.
Harper. Yeah, that's too far away. To talk to the handicap. What you can do, all the things is add something on this town around here, or the landfill. You can talk to it on 440, 460, but you need channel 2. Talk to that, and it puts it out on 800. So you would just, in effect, you'd have to buy one set of radios for what you're going to talk to, and it's going to take it on 460, transmit it on 800, receive on 800, transmit back to you on 460. So you don't have to put an 800 megahertz radio out away from where you can't reach it. You can do this with your mobile radios in your trucks, or you can maybe take your handy talkie that's on 460 and talk to the repeater on channel 2, and it'll send it on to the 800. That's the cheapest way. Rather than putting 800 megahertz in all your vehicles.
Well, see, we've got 800s in all of them. Or the sheriff department, EMS,
Now, what kind of radio?
they're 800s.
Not countywide though.
Well, Jan, in some of the ambulances, there are 800 mobile units, right? In all the ambulances? Or-
They're not mobile.
Oh, they're hand copies.
They're just regular radios. You can't take them out of the truck with you.
Yeah,
They're not handhelds.
they're 800s in the truck.
For a mobile radio.
Yep. So some of the issue we have though is we got, this is a bigger issue. We got 800s and 400s in the county. And the sheriff department, they were kind of wanting 800s because they can talk farther away. I mean, we can read way out west. But our 400s won't reach that far.
Okay, what you need to be able to, like your sheriff's department, needs to be able to talk local.
Yep.
Change channel 2, or the sheriff's department's going to use 460, talking to each other. And then switch to the other radio to talk further distances. Now, you're having trouble with handy talkies,
In
talking
south,
on 800.
down here.
Yeah, but now you can talk out of the pickup or the truck when you have higher power. The difference is 30 watts to the handy talkie, which has 5 or less, and a short antenna. The handy talkies then is the problem. If you've got the radios and all the other vehicles,
Well, that and we're wanting to get to one. We're wanting to get to one So,
So we don't have to keep up with 400s and 800s.
so like Harper Fire Department and Attica are running 400s.
Yeah.
Well, that makes our dispatch have to run 400s and 800s. She's got to talk to both of them. So we're wanting to get to one radio, or one tower, or one repeater, or one everything. So he's hoping that maybe the people that have 400s, we come in, they can just keep their 400s and put a repeater in to go to 800, so we only have to man 800 radios.
Well, that's what you're saying, right?
Well,
Can you get a 400 to 800 repeater without having to change radios to a different radio?
no, you'd have to put another channel in
Yeah.
and have this, UHF to
Yeah.
800, 400 to 800, you'd have to have a radio that made that switch.
Right. Yeah. So I remember the radios, when we had the walkie-talkies off your repeater, you know, you could talk locally, but if you had one hit the repeater, you had to change to a different channel to hit the repeater. If I remember right.
Well, you could talk locally, let's say on Simplex, without a repeater. You can talk across town with your handy-talkie. Actually, with a handy-talkie, you're standing up, holding that by your ear, and talking. You can talk with the antenna right here. You can talk about 7 miles across the curvature of the earth. To this handy-talkie to this handy-talkie, you can talk. But if there's a hill between here and there, you can't. If there's buildings that, especially at the higher frequencies, because of the wavelength of the frequency is disrupted by stuff, wiring, metal board, whatever, in a building, screens in the building will restrict the communication. Lower frequencies, like in the VHF, VHF, 460, it has a longer frequency. It's this way, and so you can talk further, because it's not disrupted by the metal in the building. In a vehicle.
Because they was-
In a vehicle and not be able to get out, if you step outside, you can.
Because right now, they came in with another map. Do you have that map?
That's what I was looking for.
But they have another 800 here and 800 here, so this coverage is actually a lot better on 800 when we tie them all together. Our tower in Kingman County and Barber County, we tie all them together and we actually talk. So if we put a repeater in, let's say on the sheriff department, it'd be included with this 800 then?
You'd have to figure if you, let's say you talk on frequency number 1.
Right?
If you wanted to 800 to talk to each other,
Right.
you'd use frequency number 1. For the frequency number 2, you can talk scattered everywhere. Now, you don't always wish to have
Right.
your talking heard by,
Because it would be, we're talking, because it sounded like most states are doing 800, so essentially you can talk from here to Montana on 800, because they're tying all that together.
yeah. So you need to be able to talk locally on one frequency. You could just change totally in one frequency. No, you could just totally on all your vehicles go to 800, but be on frequency number 1, and that's just you guys,
Right.
your people. Go to frequency number 2, and that takes in everybody. And that would mean you'd have your repeater down here that would cover the county, and then you would talk to that repeater, which would cover
Everybody.
everybody. So if you wanted to just have one radio, you could do it with 800, you'd have to get a frequency, go to the FCC, get a frequency for the county on 800.
But it could be done, from what I'm understanding, my limited brain power on this whole subject. We could possibly take the 400 radios that some of the departments, the fire departments that have them right now, and be able to talk to the folks that have the 800 radios.
Nope.
If we have a separate channel.
Well, you would have to build this piece
Right.
to put in, that would change it.
Yeah, but it's possible though.
Yeah, UHF, your 400 into this,
Coming in and then converting it to the,
and send that back out, and then it will receive back down,
And they-
back out.
And,
off of both.
and they could, if they want to stay on 400 and talk to themselves, they could do that and just change a different channel if they want to talk to us.
Yeah, yeah. But you'd have to come up with this device.
That's what we're talking to you.
Well, and I've been out of the radio business for a great number of years. And 12 years, I had enough issue, hard issue, had to quit climbing towers.
Yeah.
Well, got for no more than 12 towers up there. But I am totally removed from all of that.
So who would we need to talk to get to that?
And, somebody that does your radio work, who would that be?
Well, here's our tech guy.
We've had a guy from Enid that has come up in years past. Before these guys were on the commission, there was a, you remember what his name was, Jan?
It's Jason, but here lately I cannot get him to come up for
To
nothing.
look at it. So maybe he's not our guy anymore.
Is he
But
the one that was doing?
Jason Deckner.
Yeah, the Abacus shop. There you go.
Is it?
that ring a bell? He's out of Enid. Is he a mobile guy?
I think he is.
Is that what his company is, a mobile?
Well, as long as they sell this kind of equipment. You have to find somebody to sell it, and I have no idea nowadays where you go. But wherever you buy your radios from, your UHF, your 400 megahertz, they would surely have stuff you can go to 800.
Just, I know you don't, you're out of it, but what are you talking for repeaters? We know how much all this other stuff's gonna cost us, repeater wise. I mean, they're fairly expensive or?
Well, this would be more than just a
Repeater,
repeater,
right?
more than just a repeater, because you've got
Changing.
a whole system here and another whole system here, and you tie them together. So it would be,
At the end of the day, what's gonna be most feasible? Just going with the 800s, you think, or?
Let me give you an example. We're looking at maybe at least $1.5 million to switch everybody in the county over to the 800 frequency.
well, if you had the 400 megahertz, and which everybody does.
The sheriff's
already, then just buy China 2, which they're taking 400 to 400, which comes out 800.
That sounds like-
We got both. We got 400s in summer equipment, we got 800s in other equipment. So we got 800s, like the sheriff's department has 800s, the EMS has 800s,
But they also have 400s.
sheriff's department don't have 400s.
They quit using. Well, they have to, Jan, don't they? Use a little bit of 400s to communicate with people, or is that the problem? They don't have the 400s to communicate.
They did have some 400 walkies that, in case they had talked to us, but they quit using them, and I don't know why.
So that's where we're at, we got half and half, and we're trying to get to one.
So what they do now, Jan, correct me if I'm wrong, is they call in dispatch, and dispatch relays that out to everyone else after the sheriff communicates.
Yeah, unless, like, we have one handheld 800, so we can communicate.
So we're carrying, essentially, we got people carrying 400s and 800s, and the dispatch is trying to take care of 400 and 800. We want to get to one.
Difficult to do.
That's what we hired you to come in.
Go back to your 1.5 million,
Yeah.
you can take care of it that way. But your problem is that 800 doesn't work on the south end of the county.
And I don't know that, I'll be honest with you, I don't know that No, they're probably, I think the city of Anthony, the fire department's running 800 also.
Yeah, they did switch.
They don't, the south end down here, southeast corner, they have trouble with, right down here, southeast corner. But where they want the 800 is, they can go way west and still talk to somebody. If they have 400s, they don't work. They run out of distance.
But the 800s don't work inside the buildings.
Right.
But they would work in the building if they do what you're saying.
If you put a repeater right here, I guarantee you they would.
They can ping off both towers.
Yeah, something up in the, behind the clock. So you're, you know, an antenna there somewhere and have the equipment. Okay, and this is a changeover from 800 to 400. You'd have to put that somewhere. Now, for, you also need, on this map, to have something that 800 handy-talkie here in town and talk to the south end of town. So if you had another repeater,
Right here on the sheriff.
yeah, on the sheriff's tower, you cover the town easily, but the problem with all of this is that, well, you want to be separated from statewide.
Top of everybody.
You need a channel 1 to talk local, channel 2 to talk statewide. So whatever you can do to do that.
I think that's what they were saying also though, because they said we wouldn't, there would be another channel that we could talk statewide and everything else. I mean, they was talking the same thing. Because essentially, I don't have the other map, but I mean, this red went, because they're trying to get nationwide. See,
There it is.
that's what the other tower took to.
That's what's coming. That's what they said is coming, because Barber County doesn't have it yet. They're getting ready to put it up.
So this is.
Everybody's trying to go to 8 to tie everything together so they have each tower.
Well, to make your coverage, you need something local.
The see, it's not helping us down here.
Yeah. So that's where you need something local.
Never Peter.
And actually, you could probably go out here on the county tower. It's 180 foot. Put your equipment there, and it would cover the total county.
Instead of where it's at.
Yeah, up near the Harper, and
So if we just moved,
that's Harper County, that is, oh.
That is that tower out there.
That is the tower, yes, okay. So we need something closer to Anthony. Which could be the sheriff's tower.
Josh, you got anything?
So, I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? I mean, the tower that you're talking about, the 180 foot tower,
Yeah.
if we put, are you saying if we put the 800s on there?
It's on there.
Right,
it needs to be here,
yeah,
or we need to add to the addition.
We'll need something
yeah.
around the Anthony area.
But
closer.
what you talked about up here in the clock tower, would that work?
If you could get out in the open.
Okay.
Now,
Gotcha.
oh, I climbed up there. I can't remember what we were doing there.
There's,
Taking your kids up there.
Been a few moons ago.
It had to have been with radio or something.
yeah, we got quite a few radios up there now, but nothing, 4 or 800, they're all 2.4 or 5. So,
Well, it would help if to work best, your antenna would need to be in the open.
okay.
If you put it inside, then it's going to be,
What about that tower right there?
it would cover town.
Okay. But isn't that what we're trying to do?
Yeah.
Cover the Anthony town?
You just want to cover south and end is what we need to cover.
Yeah, so the sheriff's tower, it would do that.
Yeah. Oh,
The,
So that would just take one repeater then on 800. That's what it would take
yeah. And,
to talk to that one?
well, you need,
You didn't change channel again, the channel thing.
the problem is, if we put a repeater here so you can talk around town, that's all you can talk on.
Until you switch to that other.
And then switch the channel too, in your mobile. Just a handy talkie.
Because we don't, essentially, we don't need anything for dispatch, because they can talk to here easily. We just need our local people to be able to talk to the dispatch. That's all we need.
Yeah,
All right, you want me to?
yeah.
So then necessarily, they wouldn't have to have that second channel. Because all we need them to do is be able to talk to our dispatch downstairs.
Okay, with a handy talkie.
Yeah. So if we just put a repeater up so they can talk to them people, that's all we need. They don't need to talk on the second channel, correct?
Yeah. So if they needed to talk on a second channel, they would need to go to the pickup and use the 25 watts instead of 2.5. over
They're on that
there.
repeater then anyway.
Yeah,
That's still not gonna take care of Attica and Harper.
400. That's taking care of the south end, and it's all
Should
down
make their 800.
I thought we were in here trying to get the whole county together on the same frequency
So that takes care of that though.
for safety issues. See, Harper and Attica, well, I think they're against it for two reasons, because of the cost. Plus, they say they get along fine with 400s, and I get that, but we want to get everybody to be on the same wavelength
yeah,
for safety reasons.
yeah.
And they don't make 800 pages. Because the fire department relied on it.
Oh, that's right, Jan, I forgot about that.
We found some though, they do. Yeah, Chris did.
So
They're pricey.
the whole problem is very, it's this way.
Yeah.
Gary, we need you to save us 1.3 million.
If you just wish to talk your people, make it to the southeast corner of town, put a small repeater here
That would take care of the 800s.
on 800.
Okay, so
And
now,
they would need two channels,
yeah.
so they could talk.
Well, no, they hit, with one channel, they hit our dispatch, and that's all we need, and they can talk to whoever from there on out.
Yeah,
Okay, so now to fix his problem, because in our problem, let's say everybody's starting to go to 800, so we're gonna want Harper County dispatch to be on 800 only.
I think that would be a mistake,
So you wanna be on 400s also?
yeah.
Okay.
Because you've got those radios out there and for emergency purposes, do that.
So we need to continue to man 400s in your opinion?
They can-
We need to still maintain the 400s also.
Until everybody is totally on 800, and they're gonna be on different frequencies. You don't need to listen to the Attica Police Department. Here, you know, they may be chasing a wild cow, and you don't need to hear all that. So, having your own frequency, channel 1, okay, channel 2, switch over to the statewide. Well, it's not an easy deal because you don't have, everybody doesn't have an 800 radio. And if it was, everybody had a 25-watt 800 radio in the truck, they could talk to that. Talk to the county repeaters. If the local guy down inside the building using a handy talkie, need one here. And it would just be for the channel 1, they talk to them, you know, whichever channel, but locally you'd be in good shape. Switch to channel 2 and you're statewide.
But you could, I'm gonna say this again, but you could go with a 400 to 800 repeater. So we can still only maintain the 800s.
Well, if you did a.
And they can talk locally on their 400. But if they wanna talk to our repeater, they go to channel 2 and then they can move up to 800. Is that right?
you could make that happen. Now, that would be another repeater for you.
Yeah,
Not just
some-
one over here, but another one.
Be on that tower.
Yeah, with more, be more expensive. Just an 800 repeater wouldn't be extremely expensive.
That sounds like that's the best option.
Probably so.
We just don't know what that's gonna cost.
We've got to find that radio. And Jan says the one that we've got's not.
So you're not wanting to get back in the business, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think, Josh? I mean, that sounds like the best option to me, but
I like it. I think we need to talk to Jason Beckner, and see what he can do.
Well, somebody that sells the radios would have access to all of this that we're talking about.
Good.
Antennas.
well, Josh and I was talking earlier, so would you be willing to kind of oversee something like that? Like if they get with this Jason Beckner or whatever, and then you look at what he's offering and see what you think? I mean,
I could do
Or
that.
have you come in, when he comes in, have you,
Yeah,
we want you to kind of be involved with it, I mean.
What we're saying is, we don't know what we're talking about, Mr. Gerber, so we can get it.
Hey, no, wait a minute, I had,
Oh, wait,
I had his class, I know what he's talking about.
You got a little piece of his knowledge, he's got a lot of piece of his knowledge. That's what we're trying to say.
I still remember all that.
My tower business paid wonderfully during the oil boom.
Hmm.
I made more than I did
Yeah.
working at the schoolhouse.
What's it? Well, we don't need another tower really, so.
Okay.
But I had to quit all of it, so. I mean, lots.
but yeah, like Darren, I mean, we'd like you to be involved though.
I can, you just let me know, I'll
Yeah.
try to be.
Yeah, but, I mean, we work something out.
And by the way, this is our IT guy, Josh
Yes,
Steele.
yes, there's something.
He's Mrs. Teal's son, you remember Roseanne Teal?
What's that?
Remember Roseanne Teal?
Yeah,
That's her son.
I'm sorry.
Oh, now.
I appreciate that lady greatly.
But you know that you can yell at me, so I'm not gonna be scared.
Right.
Well, so,
Bet. Appreciate you coming in, Gary.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Gerber.
it was just 30 miles up it. And
Good company.
I stopped and had a cup of coffee.
He made it through. Gerber, it's always good to see you. Gerber, take care.
Okay. Okay.
All right, we will.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, we shouldn't take on that.
We're gonna try to get a hold of that guy, over Spirit Communications. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Okay.
Jan, you want a hold of him and build out like a sense of repeater and all that kind of stuff.
Just tell him what you've got.
So the only thing important about that COVID policy I sent you
Bill
is,
done that.
I based mine on the contingency and prices, staff guidelines from KDAT. But Heather, the health department, she doesn't really like it, so she doesn't want to have any responsibility for it. But we do not have the staff to quarantine people for 10 days. And the contingency and the pricing staffing doesn't say you have to. And I know that like the hospitals and most EMS are doing 5 days quarantine,
I didn't know they were in quarantine.
That's kind of.
5 days,
It was
wearing
prepared
masks.
so keep that.
Just so we have it.
Is there a quarantine now? Wow. I just people have it. Are we back to are we back to everybody has their own?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it says in that guideline there, that you can make your own policy. The only thing I need you guys to approve for is Heather just says she doesn't want to take any responsibility, if the county, if something should happen.
Does she have to sign off on this then?
No.
Okay.
I just wanted you to be aware of it.
It says price of staffing, no work restrictions.
Right. And, you know, we kind of fall between the contingency and the price of staffing. And that's the way most hospitals, and that's sort of what we've done, so that's why the 5 day, and you know, there's gotta be some common sense there.
You're in a degree, you're not going to work anyway.
It's been 5 days, but they are still really sick or, you know, whatever, then obviously they're not gonna work badly. The last one we had, she felt bad for 1 day and then she never felt bad again, but she had to be off for 11 days. And, I
guess I must have heard something that was.
Well, I guess I thought the same as Dan. I thought it was to the point of just take care of yourself. If you're sick, stay away from people.
Well, I had some people down there that had it, and then some of it was no restrictions. I don't know where that's, I don't know.
Because
Have you heard that before?
Because the CDC and the KDHE were on the same guidelines.
So, okay, so here we are again. Which guidelines do we go to again?
Well, the health department follows the KDHE.
No? The CDC says that there's none.
They did, now they're getting ready to change theirs, so I don't know about this.
Well, right back to,
Yep. And then I just need a 3-minute executive session to talk about personnel.
3 minutes? That's just 1 minute and 5.
All right.
By the time we're done, mine will
You want to make that
be.
motion?
I'll make it.
Chair made the motion to go in executive session, subject to be discussed with the personnel matters. The justification for closing the meeting is to discuss personnel matters. Personnel.
9:55.
Do you want any present?
Senior.
Open meeting, we're resuming this room at 9:55.
That'd be a little over.
All in favor? No action taken on executive session. Mike, Stacy, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Here in just a few minutes, though, we do have to open those bids. We're open for 10 o'clock. We're just about there.
Our EFT is repaired, finally, we got that. Almost $2,200.
$2,200. Is that going to be a permanent fix
I
then?
got one. She stole it.
Always do. The wing walls on Capitol Bridge have been completed today, so finally, it's completed again. And the Starlbridge Bridge, I believe.
Do you like that process with those concrete deals, or is that something you'd think about doing again if we had
It's
to?
a nightmare to do, it's
Is it?
excavated, but yeah,
But compared to putting a bridge in and having to maintain a bridge,
you know, definitely.
It's a lot better than that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So they gotta hold the welder to do the brewery bridge in?
Yeah, we want to get a certified welder to do that. But they'll get everything ready, and he's gonna come down and inspect it after they get it cleaned out, and I will tell him what to do, and they'll come back and do it.
Right, yeah.
And the trees on,
I got a little JC loan, he said pile them in the field.
good.
So he said preferably one pile, but two, he said whatever works.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. They're down at Columbia Weddings corner now, and they're gonna move over there for that one.
Okay.
And Chris went down to do that dirt work down there.
oh, did you look at it?
Yeah.
Mark said he-
I forgot all about it first time.
Mark said it would be fine to undo the wires on
Okay,
it. So, do you want him to do that, or do you wanna
we
do it?
can do, we got a better truck.
I mean, it's dead. It's
We may not
dead.
have to, just to be just good after we trim them out of the line.
I think JC was kind of wanting to put those piles at the end of like at each end. I was like, no, that ain't, no. We would rather do it right there.
Yeah, we don't wanna have,
But you're gonna have to get them out far enough so they're not underneath those lines, so when you do burn it, but he wants them to be burnt next year. So, it should be cured out by then.
Well, that thing wasn't an emergency, but you did write down and look at it, you see what, I mean,
yeah.
then you
I
remember?
wasn't sure I was looking for it, but I saw it, holy crap. You already told me that a month ago.
So, to get back to that JC loan deal,
We better go 10 o'clock,
or is the excavator gonna be on the field side or the road side?
probably on the roadside.
That's what I told
Unless
him.
we take the line down, but I'd rather use on the road, not out.
I'd have, Francis was kind of worried about that.
All right, well, we got to take just a few minutes to open these deals. And,
This is for Henderson Bridge,
yep.
Yes.
L&M contractors.
Shauna, did you ever see if we had a date that those were supposed to come in, those bids? Did we not do that right?
I didn't see the request for proposal that was sent out that said,
I have judgment for bids. They're due at 10 o'clock, and they're getting ready at 10 o'clock. There you
One of them is $283,851.
Who's this from?
L&M.
Okay. Out of?
Great bid. This says bid date 8/3 and 8/22, number 1 and number 2. That's the only one. You get that number? 283.
8:51.
This one here is from Reese Construction out of Salina.
Good old Diego.
That one ends up getting
$264,645.41.
my estimate was 346,000, so we didn't get it.
Not bad.
We probably need to go through and look at the
Yeah.
difference
Okay.
of,
I've got to check all the math.
because there's a bunch of different kinds of steel. Ring walls, much stuff I need to be looked at.
Yeah, I guess we can only.
We put that together, and we can all see that then. It just makes sense then. Alright.
Close enough.
No guarantees, huh?
We'll need to have you make scans and email those to me, because I gotta send them KDOT. There's $200,000 of KDOT reimbursement money in this one, so.
Are you familiar with both those companies?
Yeah.
So on that KDOT reimbursement, is that something we can begin the work and then get reimbursed, or we have to wait to be?
As they submit pay requests, once they get started, then we'll forward those along with the completed reimbursement from KDOT. They'll probably wire you guys the money.
And that process could be a year?
So we didn't give a start time on this one. The latest completion date is December 15th, 2023. Because that's about the only way we could get it a bid on it. The contractors are so busy.
Okay, I remember you saying that.
So, whenever they get started and they send their first invoice,
Gotcha.
whenever that happens to be, we'll immediately, submit that to KDOT that way. I mean, you guys will obviously have to go ahead and pay their invoice, but, hopefully, there's not too much lag between when you get reimbursed by KDOT. Ordinarily, it's going to be a couple of weeks.
We have the 8.3 and 8.22, number 1 and 2, what's that?
Addendum number 1 and number 2. Okay. They have to acknowledge that they have both of them. And we might have to check and make sure the other bid bonds in there, but I'm pretty sure I have both of them. So I'll put together a spreadsheet that has all the unit prices from both of them and compare it to what my estimate was. And that, along with copies of these two bids, I'll have to send to KDOT, and they will have to concur with us awarding to Reese, who's the apparent low bidder. I'll check the math this afternoon to make sure that there's no math errors in either one of the two bids. Then after KDOT emails me back and says that they're good with it, then I'll fill out the notice of award form, and I'll email it to Staci and Mike, and then hopefully we can get that all done this week, and then you guys can award it on Monday next week at the next commission meeting.
Third bridge on the way.
Yep, thank you for that.
No problem.
It's good.
I don't have anything else unless you guys have something.
Just to talk about
Well-
once it rains and then,
So I submitted those two. I submitted Zimmerman and Ford on it.
oh, you
On
did?
the next, yeah.
Yeah, we have a little more to talk about.
Zimmerman and what?
Ford, yeah.
What's this?
It's your bridge inspections, that meeting that we had. He thought he didn't have anything else to talk
I
about.
tried to,
Hey, but it's not bad, Mike.
no, it's not bad at all. Only two that we had to shut down, we already had shut down, north of that, and then our part. You're very nice, so.
Re-signing a bunch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to spend a little money, get the signs we need.
It was better than last time.
Sure, it's a lot better than last time, that's it.
I think I took out a meeting that they're the final say though. That's what I took out a meeting.
Yeah, they said shut it down, shut it down, period.
So,
And they got to start 100 more bridges to check over the next 3 years, correct?
2 years question.
2 years?
Those will be down in his territory.
They're checking everywhere. She didn't say they said they're all, they just randomly go pick something somewhere. It's not by error, they're,
So you'll probably start on those trees tomorrow or Wednesday or something like
Today?
that? Today.
Hey, I did remember a couple other things. John Shell never called me about a sign. You know where John's house is at? It's east of my house, 2 miles.
Okay.
And to the north of there, must be a bridge sign. Must have got knocked down by a mower.
Okay.
there's also a bridge sign north of that 410 bridge, north of Matterville Bridge. Or is it 310, 3 or 410, I don't know what it is, it's not on the post, it's on the post.
And to go along with that, I told my wife we're gonna get a bill for the, there's a valve that the mower chopped up when they were over by our house. There's a valve body, it's got like a PVC pipe that comes up and then a valve on inside there, and the mower chopped all that up, and I said, send that to the county, because the water district doesn't need to pay for that.
County road over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, just so you know when that comes, that's what's coming. And then the 911 signs, have you guys noticed in your territory, those things are starting to get really faded where you can't even see them?
Yes.
The what sign?
Arizona.
Have you seen some of that? What happened? It's like all of a sudden, a year or 6 months, they just got turned white.
The street signs you mean?
Yeah,
Same thing down
in town. But they were fine, and all of a sudden I just started to notice them everywhere, just think,
Are they that way, Larry? I haven't noticed, I guess.
Different areas that.
maybe got put up at different times.
They're gonna be replaced very quickly. They're, the old signs with the stamp, plate, painted sign.
Yeah.
These are they decal? I think they're decal.
So who, is that come out of Chris's 9/11 fund, or does that come out of Road and Bridge?
That comes out of the sign fund.
There's no way it can come out of that 9/11 fund,
Well, I
911?
have to, there's no money probably left in that fund, the Oregon State wants us to do it.
Well, then are we required to keep those up ever so often, or how's that work? I mean, those have been in place longer than I've been on commission, so I didn't know.
Them signs up there?
Yeah, they were, the first set were probably back in Robert Sharp's days when they designated all those, remember when they started making those road numbers? That was Robert Sharp and Sid Burkholder and those guys were.
It was in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and then they redid them, I don't know when, but I wasn't on commission, I don't think.
I know there's ones in town that see the sun, they're really good.
Well, that sends out the country. So I don't know, I didn't know if you'd been noticing that or not, or what we have to do to.
Garrett had mentioned it, it's gonna take money,
And that's why I was wondering where the money came from to do that, the town court, because that's gonna be pretty expensive, isn't it?
Oh, man, every sign.
We might check with Chris to see if she has somewhere that, just guess, and maybe not, maybe that's all road and bridge, I don't know.
If you have to buy or if you have to buy the complete sign, or just get the sticker, I imagine you buy the complete sign. I just buy that.
I just think we get some stencils and spray cans.
Yeah.
You're out there, do that.
Those are
work.
good days. Anyway, I just didn't know if you'd been seeing that or not. Hey, what are you doing this afternoon, Stacy? We get some stencils. Fun, wouldn't it?
With me? Okay.
He'll hold the letter.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
It's interesting to see how this changes.
I think that's your new one.
Well, there's,
Is that one here?
You want mine?
I've got one, I kept one, I give it to her.
Okay, I'll take care of it. Okay.
Well, this is here.
Those are two closures.
This is here.
Have him email me each company and how much they're available.
That is on.
But it's still
Yeah.
open.
It's on Freeport.
I mean,
It's still open, right?
What?
I think you
That's the bridge and that.
Oh,
the entrance we was talking
okay.
about.
I'll come down later and just get from you then. I just
What about, so this closure, where is it?
Okay.
You know,
I
for
think
all
he's leaving
users.
it.
Perfect.
They moved
Thank you.
Okay.
But that one, and I told her, this one, yes, it's in your area, on that.
With the red and the first one.
And I explained to her that this is a rural community, but, you know, she just wanted to inspect it and say,
Yeah,
it's
they
gotta
don't
be
care.
that, it's gotta be this, it's gotta be that, but
Yeah, they don't care.
they
don't care.
did, but we did ask about putting more structure and getting more tonnage. Because we've always been told that you can't change the design of the bridge. You can repair like it is, but you can't add to it. She was,
So who told us that from the beginning? And it's the same as your,
oh, down there. I told her that we was talking about the Brew Bridge. And I said, okay, it's been closed for, they said 3.5 years now, before us. And I said, well, we was told from CFA, is that the ones inspecting?
I think, somebody told us, I don't know who it
CFA or
was.
so, they said that, because we asked about, remember Jeff, we said, hey, we want to fix that bridge, let's fix it. No, you can't do it, the state will not. Okay. Then the guy came in here this other day, I was telling this the other day, they said, okay, the guy came in the other day, said they will not fund that bridge because you should have fixed it already. So I asked that lady, I said, okay, you know, I told this whole story. I said, now I wanna do the final say, the final one.
Yeah, who is the person that
She goes, you do realize when you're driving piling, if it ain't long enough, you build up a section of piling on and just keep driving, right? I said, that's what I was trying to say. She's, you fix
Wow.
that. I don't know why you haven't fixed that bridge already.
Oh.
Yeah, Brewery Bridge could have been done a long time ago then.
Yes. But I said, we didn't fix it because you guys weren't doing okay.
Well, that was, when you guys first got on, we talked a lot about.
Well,
fixing
wait, that was, Kurt was against that.
that. Well, we said we wanted to go ahead and have it
He
fixed.
said he talked to somebody that
See
gave that
there?
answer.
Yeah, it couldn't be fixed. It's gonna be fixed. And,
That's
but
what,
the other thing is, and we did ask, is we've talked about putting piling on the outside of the bridge and running, she goes, do not do that. That's absolutely no. You can add on the piling, but don't put structure underneath it, changes it. And she said you don't have to even concrete, just weld.
oh, yeah.
Get after it then.
I said, well, now we know that. And I said, now we're gonna go fix that bridge, and you go
That-
back and you doing it.
that's-
You know that.
That's who the hell said it. I don't remember now. Yeah.
And
What?
what?
What are you smiling about?
Cause
He's happy. That's better
it's
than
Monday.
yelling.
Wow, that one email you sent out though, jeez, what day was that?
She felt better after though, 'cause I walked out of the office, she goes, I feel better.
I was just in the mood.
It's all right.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you guys about phones being transferred on Mondays during your guys' meeting.
Good.
Is it okay for them to be transferred to my office, so that way, if, like during executive sessions, they're not ringing?
I thought that's what we had it.
Yeah, because we
I don't
are.
think after they got transferred back down here, I don't think we discussed where they would go.
I assume they're not being here because that phone sits there and rings and there's nothing, nobody's gonna answer.
Well, especially the day we were on that conference call.
It doesn't ring a few times and then just pump over to another office. It doesn't, can it be set up to do that?
Yes. It can.
What do you think, Sean?
I think that would be very good.
Better?
Because I know in the treasurer's office, if it rings so many times, it transfers down to Dee's office. When they were short staffed, that's how it was. And
You ring twice or
I
something.
personally say on Mondays we're having meetings, it shouldn't even be in this office.
So ring like that daily, like or somebody have to get in and switch it?
Josh has to do it every time, that's why he was kind of used to it.
So he'd rather just have it a one and done deal probably, instead of having to do it on Mondays.
After 2 rings, you wanna go to some other office then?
I don't know, Sean, is that our,
Yeah, that's great.
what about,
3 rings? 2, 3, something like that.
well, 3 is a lot. If you're sitting the other end and the phone
2
rings 3
rings,
times.
2 rings, cause you then you gotta wait for another 2 over here and like that.
Yeah, because 3 is an awful.
Because that one day we was in this conference call and that phone rang 5, 6 times and it hung up and then within 2 or 3 seconds it was ringing again.
So 2 rings then to the clerk's office.
That'd be fine.
If everybody's okay with that.
If you're okay with it, she's okay with it, then I guess that's only 2 people we need really.
Sure.
I also received an email from Amazon Business Prime, which we are a part of, and it didn't cost anything when we set up to do
No,
Business
they-
Prime. And now since we are using more than 3 users, we currently have 17 users, it's gonna cost us $1,300 a year.
No.
Yep.
That's what I thought too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think there
Yeah,
needs to
you
be.
think same? You're kind of local then
I
too.
think if one person in the courthouse,
But it's easier to keep track of that way too, I think, right? On the-
So if you want to order Amazon, you bring it in here, you're the one on the account, or whoever's on that, whoever.
Somebody does the order and that's at
Yeah.
one person.
I'm not.
so we can have 3. So do you want sheriff department to have one and then EMS?
Who orders the most stuff?
Sheriff orders a lot.
For the bridge.
Yeah, road and bridge
I was gonna say,
does,
Road
but
Bridge,
Been
I
seeing
think
that.
justice still needs to be in charge of.
So there's
What do
your
you
3.
think?
There'd be your 2.
Two.
I think justice should
Well,
be in charge.
Okay, if you're following on something off Amazon, either I'm gonna stop by somebody's office and say, hey, I need you to order this for me, or I'm gonna send an email.
Send an email.
Technology, like,
Yeah.
I would
If
send an
within
email
seconds
so
it's
you
done.
have proof that you asked for that.
I think it needs to go through that office.
So you're, what do you,
Me, okay,
Either one you do, either one, I don't care.
That's what she said, Justice will have it,
yeah.
Sheriff will have one, and then,
Mhm.
or you just want one total?
No, I think sheriff's department needs ones, I don't think that, which, like I say, it's
So-
all technology now, you just.
so sheriff's department, courthouse,
Yeah.
and EMS.
EMS, you think?
So building and grounds can use one in the courthouse?
Yeah, everybody in the courthouse can use it, yeah.
Good call.
Technology. I need this. Order. Now that's gonna put
I
a
do that to
little
my wife all
more,
the
little
time.
more, I do too. I need one of those. A little more burden on somebody in the courthouse, but I guess that's all right.
Better than $1,300.
It takes seconds. If you're sending that link to somebody, you just click it, is my understanding how that works.
Yeah.
And it brings it right up, and then you hit order and buy now.
I'm not paying $1,300. Whoever.
Exactly.
You also wanted to discuss my credit card limit, because he had to pay for something that was $2,000 and he didn't have enough money because his limit was 2,000.
So they want the latest one.
It is.
Yeah.
I thought we changed the road and bridge
His
limit.
credit limit, he could, like his amount he can spend is 10,000 before he has to do an inordinate spending.
Right, but I thought we did that on the credit card, so we, apparently we didn't.
Do
I
you
don't
guys,
want that on credit card.
No, I don't either, but
do you want,
I'm not gonna vote yes to get that on credit card.
I mean, honestly, it's really easy for them to come up and say, hey, we need to up this amount to pay this bill. I can call and up it that exact same day, that moment, and it's ready to go.
I'm not okay at 5,000, but I'm not okay.
No, because there's a lot of things that can happen. Not blaming anybody or pointing fingers at anybody, but I just think.
What's towards the middle of me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, those cards bother me.
So just keep it at 1,000 and they can call if they need it up.
And call it, yeah, call you, you can,
Or you want to bump it up, is that what you were asking for?
How many times are you gonna need to spend
well,
$5,000?
if he knows he has to call her to dump it up.
Mhm.
It's an instantaneous.
Well,
thing.
but there, I mean, is there ever a reason it might be an emergency, hey, I gotta get this here on the weekend or something?
Yes.
No, it doesn't work on the
Nothing, I
weekends.
can really wait till Monday.
In case tree falls over, I mean, how do you know?
Honestly,
1,000, what's everybody else, is 1,000?
yeah. Honestly, if something happened like that one week and I could come in and call them,
You wouldn't even have to come in, but you just pick up the phone.
yeah, but my information.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
don't take
Uh,
that. That's
So I still
okay.
go 5, if you don't wanna go 5, then that's whatever.
Well, no, it just takes a phone call to call her and say, hey, I need to up it to whatever. I don't care. You're the road and bridge guy.
So how much was it, I mean, what was it, I mean, how far was he under? Was it 2,000, 3,000, what was it?
He only had a little bit on the card because the payments had already been mailed out, but they thought they were gonna get invoiced from some company in Wichita, but they had to pay with the card.
When they went to pick something up,
Yeah.
and then they couldn't get it.
Yeah, so it's just that type of situation.
So on that topic, I mean, he'd have to call you and you can't make the change.
Well, maybe you're right, then maybe I ought to up it.
No, I didn't think about something like that.
I'd go to 5.
Yeah, that's
Probably
probably
we're just
right.
gonna trust him and be, I mean, I better get a bill, use a credit card, good person.
Yeah, but some companies probably won't let you walk away.
You know,
Motion for that.
So, Aaron made a motion.
Yep.
All in favor?
but then again, on a big piece of equipment, 5,000 ain't gonna do much to that piece of
No,
equipment. I'm
but
gonna
plan
tell you.
ahead on some of that stuff. Okay, plan ahead.
Fade.
Anything else for me? I don't mind this.
Hey, so on those credit cards, Amy used to rack up points for something. Is it still
We
doing
have
that?
a lot of things.
So are we using those for employee
I
gifts or
know,
like, we talked last week about doing some recognition type stuff?
yeah, and I think Amy asked if we could use a small amount for wellness.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we've been looking into that. We haven't really, I haven't had time to look at it. I sent it to Amy to look at it.
Yeah,
But
like
we
a-
So what can the points be used for, anything?
it's everything on the website. There's a ton of different things that you can get on there.
We would have to get like a cruise card, a cruise card, right, some of the points that
I
employees
mean,
get.
I'm
to
sure
take a
there's
cruise.
probably
I know
something
what my
like that.
points give me.
Like, I know there's like Fitbits, you can get shoes, you can get jewelry, you can get all stuff.
Yeah, and then in the past, we've used those for Christmas gifts or
Yeah,
something.
we did one year. We have, I can look at my computer and tell you how much I have.
Just we'll be using those. If Amy's not using them,
Do
we'll
that,
use them.
get closer to Christmas, get out.
Yeah, our employee benefit things, we used all of that one year for
Really?
gifts.
Yeah.
And we still have a lot still.
Good.
I think we
Yeah,
have
that's
close,
nice gifts to get with it.
Yeah.
we have close to 300,000 points.
Really?
I don't know worth like.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
dollars.
I mean, it's not very much, but I mean, you could get a lot with it.
Well, I mean, it'd be good enough for Christmas
Yeah.
Mhm.
or gifts.
We'll talk to Amy and see if we can make sure.
Anything else?
No?
Okay.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Never been there. I've heard about it.
Oh, it's fun. It's, yeah.
Motion to reconvene. All there.
This is chocolate chip cookies.
You what?
Favor, say aye.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Not bad.
Get some snacks.
Get
Good.
one?
No, I'm good. Good, good. All right. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update. So there is a new grant, and as a matter of fact, I was just on the webinar to kind of discuss the details. It's a new grant to support economic development in smaller communities. And it says Kansas communities under a population of 5,000, and even though that we technically aren't quite, but we're on the list of eligible counties, so that's a good thing. But basically, it's 78 counties with a population of roughly 5,000 or less. Grants are available in the following categories: community vibrancy. So like if we wanted to do like a little park or something, a downtown park with extra seating, or if we wanted to do benches or whatever. Childcare and senior programming. So the childcare I know is certainly something that we need to look at. Just last week had a great conversation with Leslie from Cox Machine. And she, they're getting ready to add some jobs and some expansion, and their biggest barrier is childcare. Because people will move to smaller communities if they know that they have good childcare.
Are they expanding to the west or to the north?
To the west, I believe. And then, of course, it also involves senior programming, which I know Jennifer needs, could use any and all things. So her and I will be talking about how we want to go about this. Food retail, which I thought was really good, because normally there's nobody ever supports restaurants or food retail. But we do have a couple of places that I think, one in Harper in particular, that is being that is being purchased and reinvented, reinvigorated, and it's a local, very much loved business, and I think that could certainly help them. And then also libraries, but I think a lot of libraries are doing pretty well. So anyway, so I just want to let you know that we'll be looking at that.
And who's that through?
That is through, they're called seed grants, and it is through the Department of Commerce and Office of Rural Prosperity. So there's a Kansas Housing Conference that I will be attending starting tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Speaking of that housing stuff, is Harper and Anthony moving forward?
Yes, so those projects that they got the base grant for, they are putting out bids for infrastructure, and so that is moving forward. So basically, when those two developments are done, the one in Harper, the one in Anthony, they will be contractor ready. So anybody can just get a lot and build a house. They don't have to worry about specials, they don't have to worry about infrastructure.
They have a certain amount of time they have to build on?
I think it's till 24. I mean, I don't know that the build, I think the infrastructure part has to be in by 24, and then I don't know that there's a timeline on the housing. So the housing conference, and Tiffany and I are going to that, and I'm not sure, I know the gal from Kingman's going, so there's a fair amount of us kind of in this area that are
All the
going.
small towns are the
Yeah.
same problem.
Yep, we sure are. There's also new bridge funding opportunities, and I know last time we talked,
Well, you got a
Bridge.
solution there.
yeah,
We got plenty of
bipartisan
funding for that.
infrastructure law, this is all that money that's coming from the federal government, but it's being managed by KDOT.
They've been
And-
here, that's the same money that they was talking about when I was gone, that meeting.
Yep. So I did send this to Mike and, is it Staci?
Mhm.
And so that they can look through this, and I certainly told them that if they needed any help or any kind of support, I'd be happy to help them.
I did ask the state lady that was here, how we ranked as far as wooden bridges in the state. She says you're either one or two.
Really?
For wooden bridges?
We have the most wooden bridges in any county in the state.
Do you guys not get these emails? She sent this out to us, but there was when it originally came, I can't remember where it came from. Maybe you're not on that list to get that stuff.
I think I remember seeing it way back when.
Well, no, they just sent it out last week, like right before she sent it out. So you may not be on that list to get that stuff or whatever. So I wonder,
I don't know how I'm missing broken emails, because it seems like they get burned up on email.
well, maybe it's going to your junk somehow or something, but I wondered if you guys were seeing some of this stuff.
Well, and So I'm thinking that might be a tourist attraction. More wooden bridges.
No, it ain't like the bridges in Madison County, Shelly. It's not like that. Not even.
Oh, wooden bridges. That's right.
There is a neat one over by Attica that the train goes over, but
Okay, that's
there's-
it.
You know what, that might be, there might get me stairs.
Hey.
Probably
hey,
what?
Get me stairs.
Yeah.
Always looking for opportunity.
There used to be a real
What?
tall wooden bridge. I used to love fishing with it.
Yeah.
My wife didn't be on it all, she's scared to death of it.
Well, so I will obviously keep up to date on that and like I said, help in any way I can.
Did you say something about?
Yeah. Well, they sent just last week, right before she sent
Yeah.
that out, they had sent that.
So two things as far as leadership. We are now recruiting for this next year's, for this next 2022-23 class. Hannah has applied and several others, and I think we're gonna have a really, what's neat this go round is that people are wanting to
Yeah.
be a part, but I'm not having to recruit, so it's been really cool.
That's good.
And speaking of leadership, the three of you are invited. I think I said something to you.
Oh,
So the Kansas Leadership Center is doing an authority lab workshop. Basically, you know, there's a difference between authority and leadership. You all have titles, so therefore you are an authority. Hannah has a title, she is an authority. I have a title, Shonda. We all have authority, but that doesn't necessarily make us great leaders. We all know, we can cite many examples of people who've had titles but are not great leaders. Keep those to yourselves. However, so what this is about is it's a workshop where electeds and people of authority will come together and kind of talk about how you can use your authority for good, you can use it for whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's on September 20th. It's absolutely free. I have signed up, but I would love to have somebody go with if you want to. So, and it'll be free lunch too. So there is such a thing as a free lunch. County Fair booth. What's that?
I think I'm busy that day.
Shut up.
The 20th?
It's gonna start getting busy for us.
You're just saying that because you
No,
It's time to start planting
What do
wheat.
you have?
I can't pinpoint it.
We're still big plant wheat or we just have, bro.
I don't, 20th, I'm telling you, I'm not BSing you either.
Whatever. So the
Maybe a
county fair,
little bit.
county fair booth went really well, and I think our involvement in the fair and being more, out there. I think I kind of talked to you guys last week about how there are a couple of things I'd like to order for future booth stuff, like a tablecloth and some stuff like that, but certainly we'll let you know. And then last but certainly not least, because I am a nip it in the bud kind of person. So I was told that there was some questioning about our lunch with Congressman Estes. And I want to go on record, I want you all to be aware that the lunch was not paid for with county taxpayer dollars. So basically what happened, and I'll just to give you the background, so his kind of right-hand woman is a great friend of mine. They were coming to Conway for a visit, and Deb called me and said, hey, we're gonna be in Conway, is there anything in Harper we need to see? And I said, absolutely, come down. I said, I will host the CEO manufacturing lunch that day because I normally have the CEO manufacturing lunch, which you all know that I have done, for quite some time. And I said, and we'll just have Congressman Estes be our speaker. And in the meantime, we visited Cox Machine, so Jason Cox came down from Wichita, and Rory and all of them, and got to tour Congressman Estes. We then went over to Westview, which donated the building. South 50 Meats and Sweetwater Orchard did all the food. And the Resilient Warrior program that is operating out of Westview, they're part of Rainier Arms in Wichita. They paid South 50 and Sweetwater for their supplies and stuff. I take that back. I did buy cookies and water.
Well, your email said that. I don't know who
Yeah.
all got that email, but your email flat out
Well,
said.
I just was told that there was somebody last week in the courthouse that was questioning who, why would the county pay for the congressman and this and that and the other. But I just want everyone to be, very, very clear. And I want to be very transparent that,
I don't think the county can pay for that.
well, and Congressman Estes, there were several people that tried to offer him gifts from the county, and he was very, very, upfront about that. He went to Patterson too, and, South 50, we actually went to their little storefront, and, we went to John Mills Welding. He had no idea that those little conductors, those semiconductor thingies that John does. So it was a great tour, it was great exposure, I think, for Harper County. But I
Brian
just.
wanted to go, but we were in meetings till 2:30.
I know, and I said that, unfortunately, I told Congressman that you guys were in budget meetings and whatnot, but anyway, I think any kind of exposure like that, it was not a public lunch, it was a lunch that was, invite only with CEOs, manufacturers, but anybody who wanted to come, if they got a hold of me, I said,
It was a
sure.
good time.
Yeah, and Don Holt went around and took lots of great pictures, and the media was invited, and so it was very public. But anyway, I just, for the record, I wanted you all to know that was.
I saw him shaking hands with Bama or somebody at coffee machine. That guy's name's Bama.
Oh.
But no, Shelly, I knew that because the email flat out said that
Yeah.
was South 50 and the
Right.
Warrior Project. They
Yes.
said that they supposed
And
to
they-
know.
they-
And I wanted to be there because one time we went to, Farm Bureau took us to Washington DC and Ron Estes got us to the top of the Capitol.
Yes,
Building.
yeah.
I have never gotten to see him face to face to thank him for that.
Oh,
You know how
yeah.
many people don't get to do that?
Oh, I know. When I got to do a tour in DC, the same thing. He and his wife bent over backwards.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to be up there to talk to him and
Yes.
say, hey, thanks for getting us in there.
Well, and I've known Congressman Estes since before he was even in Congress. So, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He wanted to come and visit Harper
Small.
County.
He seemed really genuine. I mean,
I thought
Yeah.
that he was-
Yeah.
Just so, as long as he knows we didn't stiff him, we were in here trying to.
Yeah.
And we
no.
finished budget mostly that day, and that's
2:30, wasn't
it?
Yeah,
Three
no, I
thirty.
figured as much, but, I think that, to me, is part of my job, is to get attention
Oh,
for
yeah.
Harper County.
It is.
Positive,
I agree.
attention for Harper County. And so, and I understand that there are people that wanna know exactly, and, we've all talked about that. When you're in an elected position, people wanna know, where are my tax dollars going, where is my money going? But I will say, the only thing that the county bought for that lunch was out of my budget. It was cookies and water, and a jug of tea.
This is their question. Did you have enough in your budget to take care of that?
You can't even say it. Yes,
I know that's a lot of money, but.
yes, I did. But-
Oh, and congrats for Family Farm of the Year.
Yeah,
I was about to say that.
that was really
That's pretty
awesome.
good.
I think it's great.
Yeah, so
You
anyway,
get
I
people
just,
here because I know there's a lot of people, especially, Tim, that's a big thing for him, getting
Yes.
people down here to see what we do in Harper County.
right, well, and unfortunately, Harper Industries, so Luke was there, Tim and Faith, their daughter just got married the weekend prior, so they were not able, but Luke and several others were
How many
in.
years have Ron been in there? Did he say?
I think it's his second term.
It's not very long.
No, but he was state treasurer for quite some time. And, yeah. So, anyway, his wife now is in the state legislature.
Better it is.
Well, and that's what and the only reason I mentioned that is I'm not upset, I'm not whatever, but I was told that somebody was in the courthouse questioning where and who was paying for that. And so the bottom line, I wanted you all to be armed with the information.
Yeah, I already knew that.
Yeah, so, anyway,
You
All right.
sent us last,
What did they serve? What did South 50 Meats bring? Because I
oh
probably would
my
have wanted to
gosh,
eat some
you
of that.
guys,
Because, and Luciana, she's like,
you missed the best lunch in the whole world.
she makes some sort of bread and stuff.
So she made homemade buns,
Uh-huh.
and of course, the South 50 did their smash burgers, and they had grilled onions
Yeah,
and
that's
barbecue, and
Mm.
Luciana had all of her homemade sauces, and then one of the girls from South 50 made a little cucumber salad and a fruit salad, and it was all homemade and so yummy. And what was neat is that you know, they were all there, I got to introduce them, everybody, you know, that was there, got to see. And I laughed because when I first contacted them, I said, you know, would you guys do burgers or something for the lunch? And they're like, you know, we're not caterers. And I said, now you are.
So I was gonna ask, they did serve that.
They did, and it was so.
And I didn't know that Westview, they're renting apartments out there. I didn't know that they were gonna start doing some of that stuff. I thought they were just gonna take care of the wounded soldier deal or whatever it was.
I think that there are some tweaks that need to be done on that program, and so I think just to probably supplement the income there, they're doing
How
some.
many veterans?
There's been, I'd say half a dozen that have gone through, not all successfully, but some, you know, and I think that I think the struggle for that program is because they're in a smaller county, there is not as many services available. And so I think that's where they're trying to figure out how to bridge that gap between what the veterans need once they get to a smaller
Are
community.
you doing some mental health type stuff?
Says right there.
Yeah.
Who's providing the mental
Where-
health part of that?
And Westview was sponsored at lunch.
What's that?
Who's providing the mental health aspect of that?
Right now, no one,
Oh,
and that's part of the problem.
see, I thought Patterson were gonna be a part of that,
You know, maybe that's part of what they're still working on, but I don't know.
See the,
But
Yeah.
they're-
Okay.
They're they're helping us find jobs too or something, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And they're lovely apartments. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're super cool.
Have you ever been in one of those?
They are super neat, and of course,
And
Westview,
then the rec room that
the
they've got
lodge
over there.
is just great. It's just great. So anyway, it's a good setup.
And I'm supposed to fill them up real quick because apparently this one down here, like hunting season, the thing's full, they can't get any more.
Right. I know, I would move in there if I didn't have 2 children.
The pin place or the Westview.
Anywhere.
Well, your bills are paid, turn that air conditioner down low and hang
That's
out,
what
man.
I'm telling you.
I'm right there with you.
Woo!
I thought that if I was a young person too, man, I'd be the coolest place around. Open the door, I'm cooling Anthony down. You pay my bills.
I know, it's just so much today.
I know when I turned down to 66.
I know. Well, yeah, you're in there. You're in there, so you know what I'm talking about. We're gonna have a blanket on every time I walk in the door.
But what's crazy is I have it on 66 because we have that little wall heater
Yeah.
and that's AC and heater. What sucks is there's no ventilation to the back area, so like
Because of the
my
gutter.
room is hot.
Oh, really?
So that's why I crank it down and then I have a fan circulating.
And the kids are freezing up in the
Yeah, so-
door.
so you can get it all the way
Yeah, I
down.
know, that's what I do.
Kids raised like a meat locker.
You're squeezing in between,
I'm
aren't you?
gonna sneak in just for 1 minute. Okay, so,
Just out though, it's just hanging out down there.
No, I seen this.
Maybe it's coming more.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Maybe it is.
okay, so this is something that we should be doing on a regular basis where we archive all of our documents onto silver film,
Thanks, Shelly.
whatever. And this is a start. It's not everything, but it's a good start. This will get us back to 1972 for several books. 50, 20, 30, 40, 45,000 images is what we will be getting put onto film. And so it's just a process that I'm supposed to be doing on a regular basis.
Didn't we have some of that stuff done?
We did. We have the miscellaneous books. We have them scanned in and indexed, and those were put on silver film already. But that took us up to miscellaneous book 32. Now we're starting with miscellaneous book 33 through 39. So 1972 to 2021 probably on miscellaneous. I mean, it gets us caught right up to current times, except for real estate. That's going to be a whole different ballgame there. But and then oil and gas, it doesn't get us caught all the way up because I have an oil and gas book 83 and an oil and gas book 87 that are not completed into the system. And this company comes right into, works with CIC, and they come right into CIC's copy of our documents, and they work from that. So it's a they work together, so it's less expensive. 4 cents an image is what it is, so that's pretty reasonable.
45,900 it says.
Yeah, so, so I just need approval to do this.
You don't need a motion or anything.
Yeah, because it's inordinate spending authorization. She's got $1,000, and after that, we have to approve that.
Right, and this is actually coming out
Right.
of, it's not coming out of tech funds
It's
because,
coming out of the county budget because it's county documents or whatever.
So the whole
That-
1,866?
yeah, it'll come out of what's already budgeted for this kind of stuff. But tech funds, with the, what we call smart search and our deeds, we're finding out that the smart search that we invested the dollars in to store all of the minutes and all that kind of stuff, well, that's not a good program for our deeds.
Oh,
We just
really?
found that out. So we may need money for that, to improve that process. So that's why I'm not using tech funds.
So where's this money come from then?
This is coming from, it's called microfilm and binding. It's a regular account that I budget for. I budget $3,000 a year. So, yeah, this is the first I've used it this year.
I'll make a motion for 1,866.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Easy.
We did solve the deed issue though.
We did.
It's just, yeah, so I got a hold of Kingman County because they have CIC also, so I asked what they did with everything that were in the books, like in our vault. As you know, Melinda and I indexed all of that in an Excel spreadsheet, and we imported it into Smart Search, so we could change those every time. Well, Josh said it's not saving it every day, it only backs it up so many times.
Oh, how much work did you lose doing that?
A lot.
Before you figured that out.
Months.
Months of work?
Oh, Melinda and I, it took Melinda and I to do those red books months to put each parcel.
But that's years worth of
Yeah,
documents.
yeah.
Years.
So
Yeah, but
instead of
months of
putting
work
it
down
in
the
Smart
tube.
Search, we're putting it all in CIC differently, where that's the only program we use for our deeds. So we're putting book a page and then what kind of deed, who and from.
So we won't need tech funds for that?
Well, our images may. I don't know what we're gonna do with that, like all the resolutions are in there, we can't lose those because they're all in there.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they have been shredded, they're original. So,
Amy, are you next?
I think so.
You ready?
Are you ready?
We gonna talk to Sean today till 2:30 again? Sean, we gonna get today till 2:33?
Thank you.
Thanks, Audrey.
No, that's
Thanks.
30.
Thanks, Audrey.
We're here at 2:30 again today? We're getting used to that.
I mean, if we want to, we can probably come up with something.
Bill Sean is there.
Alright, I have personnel status boards. One, we have one of our EMS folks became a paramedic. We've had another dispatcher resign. And then we have public works employee, well, we terminated a public works employee.
It's yours, Bill. Mhm.
No notice?
Was that dispatch?
Walk out.
Yep, didn't come back. No call, no show for her next shift. I don't believe she's talked to the department head at all. It's all come through another code.
How long has she been there?
3 months, maybe 2,
That's
not
what-
long.
Is that just the world we're in now, that that's how we do stuff, or is that?
I don't see how people do it,
No.
I couldn't afford it.
But employees are looking for, employers are looking for employees so bad right now that they'll not even call for a reference or anything?
Well, all we can give them are basic service and position help.
Mhm.
We can't give them details anyway.
Well, I know, but
Today is 29.
that's not cool just to walk out and
No.
No, because if you ever have, if you ever have to have a call for somebody trying to get your image job, it doesn't go over again, you say you just walk out.
and you can tell them that.
Yeah.
Right?
She said you can't.
You
We have
can't.
to be careful with with what you do on the references. Dates of service and position held, that's the basic.
Oh,
Now, if they sign a release, so you can tell anything, then you can't, but you have to be careful. It's easy to sue, it's too easy to sue. Yep.
don't
But
call Jeff.
That just came out of my mouth.
if they ever try to come back here,
But see, in
That's-
schools, that's the same way. There's teachers that get moved around and stuff so much that.
So
Yeah.
if that person would go to Hutchinson and call back down here
Reference.
for reference,
yep,
you can't say,
she walked out.
didn't even give us a heads up.
Nope. Now, if she calls, or if she tries to file unemployment, we definitely can divulge all of that
When did
information.
that change? It didn't used to be that way.
Schools have been like that for a long time. I don't know about
HR's been
everybody
like
else,
that
but.
for years, dates of service and position.
I know. There's part of the problem, I think, in the world too, because
That is,
It's too easy to sue.
in the world that we work in, Jeff,
yeah, wow.
Okay, the USD 361 MOU, did you look at the updated version of it? To allow,
which one is that, Ian?
it was in the first email I sent y'all about today. I think I sent it Friday. But this is the one which would, apparently it's kind of a handshake agreement already, that if they need to evacuate kids
Oh,
from
okay, that's
Gerber,
UC 361.
yeah, then they can use our landfill or the county farm. I did have Richard look over the MOU, and his concern was there was no liability.
Yeah, that's kind of what we had talked about, too, is make sure we weren't going to be.
Yep, so Richard looked at it, and then I sent it to K-Camp and asked them what they would add to it in that paragraph right before the term part is what they suggest we add. So then I sent it back to Richard, and he said, I think that would be fine. So I have sent it back to Craig, who I got it from in the first place, to look over.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything from him. I'm sure he'll give it to the school board and they'll make sure it's okay with him. But, yeah, so as soon as I hear back from him, then hopefully I can bring it back and get it signed off on. We're already doing it, this just makes it,
Official.
yeah, official, so everybody knows. The memo regarding our bonuses, did you get a chance
Looks
to
good
look?
to me.
Is that okay to send out?
What's the bonus?
I will send that out today. That's the memo to the staff, just explaining it now.
You just said that, it's not.
Yeah.
Friday, you got that Friday.
That's what we've been talking about.
Is that okay to send?
Mm-hmm.
Is that-
Yeah.
Friday, 26th.
All right, employee recognition, we had talked about implementing a recognition program, Employee of the Month, Employee of the Quarter. Miami County has kind of a neat one that they use. So I sent that to you just to kind of take a look at and see if that's kind of how you like the structure of that. Didn't know if you wanted to proceed monthly or quarterly.
I'm more for quarterly.
I'm more for the quarterly thing too. I think if you do it monthly,
We used to,
well, and you may get tired of it.
well, I think,
Jeff,
monthly's too much.
Well, I thought we had agreed with
And quarterly, that gives them more time to get together next time.
you that.
Nominations, they could come in by department heads. Do you want peers to be able to nominate as well? This is what.
See why that would
Are you gonna do two? One in the courthouse and one in the field, or just one? Okay. Well, we talked about two at one point, so.
This is one person per clerk.
I think it can come from even the public.
Just make it
You get somebody comes in and says, you know what, this guy just went on back and, to do their job, I wouldn't listen to people in the public also. I mean, take it into consideration, that's gonna, but that should go towards, I personally think,
Okay,
because you get people,
So anybody can,
anyone can fill out that form. We can put it out on the website and make it available. Or they can call.
well, I
They can call
mean,
me to get the nominations.
but they can only win it once a year, right, or twice a year?
once a year. But I guess the public wouldn't fill it out, they'd call in, let's just say Josh is out here or whatever, and somebody's man, he did a great job, whatever. How do they get, whoever they contact would be the one that would have to.
Fill out the nomination.
Just give it twice a year.
Well, if we're doing a quarterly, there's
I mean,
only.
if Brian's doing a better job than everybody else, then send him this to win again, twice a year. He still can't win it.
Maybe that's a good point. If you're the one that's working the hardest of everybody, then
I'd say twice a year.
You guys do that?
I'm good with it.
Okay, as far as the rewards go, we had talked about like gift certificates. Now, these are taxable. Something to keep in mind, this is taxable as it,
what about that, we talked about that credit card deal.
the points.
Yeah, can they, was that taxable too if they select a thing off of that?
I don't think so, but all we can see.
She said there's like smartwatches or something, I don't even know what all she was talking about. Yeah, she's looking at it right now.
There's also.
Pretty intent.
I can find out.
Pretty good game of solitaire going on over there.
No, I'm doing minutes, actually.
Well, I think if we're gonna do it for you, I'd make it a pretty nice.
Well, I think she said there's some nice stuff on there, like,
Well, I still like whoever said that, no, the Attica locker deal. I think that's,
yeah, I think that's a good
Well,
one
that
too.
was a question. Would you consider offering a gift certificate to their local business of choice? Let the person who wins
That's
choose,
true.
yeah, I want groceries, or yeah, I want
I'm good with that.
gas,
Meat.
or, yeah.
I just wondered
yeah.
if that was a way around having to tax all that
Taxes
stuff.
on it.
Because if you give them, I don't know, what we talking about, a couple $100 or something, I mean.
Yeah, well, we can gross it up, that's what we've done, that's what we do with the retiree.
How's that work?
We gross it up in payroll. So what happens, like with the right retiree gifts in payroll, we pay them what their gift should be, and then we pay them the taxes. So the taxes that come off and they get their gift as their take home, does that make sense? So
Yep.
we can gross it up to do that, and like with our, group term life, we do that, and it's just set up as the taxable amount goes in and comes right back out. So we can do that with just the taxes on these gift cards, we figure out what the taxes on 250 would be, and run that portion through payroll. It's very doable.
So, their business of choice, is that what we're thinking then?
Yeah, why not? As long as it's in Harper County, it's still in county. Is that a pain in the rear for you guys to have to make all that work?
I don't think so. If it
Like the
happens,
business choice, you would just, I mean, how would you be a check to that company and care of, or, I mean, how are they gonna get?
Most everybody does a gift card in some format at this point. So my thoughts are, when you present the Employee of the Quarter award, you know, give them a little slip that says, you know, go to HR, let them know who you want your gift card from, and then I'll get their.
you're still gonna have certain people, they don't care about morale. They don't care about money.
No, that's too
They're
bad.
not
I
gonna
know.
go this.
I know.
But, I mean.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So you're looking at $300 a quarter, basically, right? If you were gonna do $100 a month, you'd have 1,200.
So,
I'm
and,
good.
you know, if you want some nice steaks and hamburger, you're gonna go out work, and we're gonna go buy you a
I'm
300
just saying, there's some
gift
people
package.
that,
Yeah, I'm with you, I know.
the whole time during that, they won't work hard or whatever. Then it comes down to time for somebody to win it, they'll be like, hey, it ain't gonna change the morale. Just saying.
Yeah, but at least you're,
The
the
people
people
that
that
are in here.
It would mine too.
the people that are getting it, you're gonna go, you know what?
Rack it up, because it was worth it.
Yeah, well, it would be a nice thing, because a lot of people say, I work my tail off and I don't have anything, you know, caters, I don't really.
I've always thought it.
And that's why I
Morale
think,
incentive plan's pretty
I
good.
don't know, who's gonna be the one that's gonna be doing the, yeah, they did, yeah, they did, yeah, they did. Is that gonna be a committee, is it gonna be you, or who's gonna be the
She's
one?
down in that deal. If you follow Miami County,
Yeah, if we follow Miami County, and it's a nice little program,
one elected official, one management employee, and one regular employee are on the recognition committee.
You know,
and then HR.
because the reason I say that is, okay, I'm your supervisor, you're working till up, I don't like you, so I'm not gonna do anything.
But somebody else.
That
can
happens
too.
too, yeah.
So the
Doesn't make your own
coworkers.
supervisors in place.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there, I'm saying our people are gonna do it, but some people just don't get along, whether, I mean, that's just the way the world is. I mean, I'm not downgrading anybody, but I'm just telling you the facts.
Yeah, that's fine, that is fine. Yeah.
That's why there needs to be more than just the supervisor committee has to be made of more.
I think, why reinvent the wheel, but Miami County has it pretty well done.
That's
We
good with it.
can always add to our committee, you know, we could have it be a committee of 5 instead of 3.
I think it's possible to have too many people, because then you forget that, well, we are actually here to serve the public too, and we're all sitting around on all these committees. Too many meetings and then not.
Over here too, that did that.
Meetings, not meetings.
We have 256,094 points.
We could use some of that for our employees.
Well, just a thought, these guys don't want to do that, yeah, right.
I mean, I've done a Christmas thing, maybe you said that, what's that?
We've done that before. That was the year we did bingo.
The bingo thing was pretty
That was
fun.
so fun.
That was
I love that.
How'd that work?
Was that bingo?
We did that
No,
over
I
night.
think that was gift cards, wasn't it?
No, there were prizes up on the table and stuff, and so the first person to bingo just come up and got the
Oh.
prize, and then we just, there was a lot of giggles in there.
Where'd you have that in?
That was
That's actually.
It was fun. We've got a bingo before in the attic, and the attic senior center has a bingo page.
Yeah.
Do what?
I'm not very lucky.
Yeah, but it was fun. There was a lot of giggles.
I'd say put 3 on that committee,
So the reason that,
because that way you got an odd man.
Or one.
Let's go with that. An odd person.
I guess we'll leave it to you to figure out who on the committee is then?
I'll send something out and ask if people want to be on it.
Draw on a hat.
Oh, that's what we could do.
You said one employee have to be on it? One employee?
That's, Miami County has one elected official, one management employee, and one regular employee.
Jeff, you're gonna be the elected official?
I don't care.
You'll be good at it.
Want to be on it?
I'm pretty, yeah, I'll do
I
it.
think you are.
I'm pretty letting it know. Yep.
Well, you remember how I was at the do
That's why we want you on there.
Right, so we'll get a department head then and a regular employee.
All righty then.
You want to start this January 1st, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me know, or you wanna start?
Now.
Oh.
One.
You get one in the last quarter.
Get one from now until the first year.
There you go. I'm good with that.
When will you award that though? December?
Right before Christmas.
Let's say,
We can do the first month, the employee appreciation meal. We can place an order right there.
there you go.
There you go. That'd be great.
Yep.
I'll get something pushed out then. Maybe.
And by the way, that way, you have to be present to win.
Hey, you're gonna wanna be there. It's gonna be the best one ever. We're gonna knock last year's socks off, I guarantee it.
You gotta be present to win, do you think?
Yeah.
I think so.
This is gonna be the best appreciation.
What was that?
Ever. Was that on the pool?
We watched, my kids wanted to watch it too. Do you know they had a $400,000 budget to make that movie and it grossed like $44 million?
Really?
Yeah, true story. I looked it up. My kids liked it.
So the first time Lane or something did that movie, it's like, what is stupid?
Yeah, but Lane was
Then
so
when
into
you
that.
watch it again, you're like,
Yeah, but then you start picking stuff out. Lane was so into that. He made all those little quotes and stuff. Lane was a good time.
Lane's
Where's he at?
oh, they live at, oh God.
We're off on our subject right now.
It's a
Chasing rabbits.
town south of,
You know she's wanting to get your business done.
I know, but I went over Lane's. I like that kind of Lane.
Isn't he down by
Hennessy, Hennessy.
Thanks,
I
Hannah.
think the shop. is
Did you know
Hennessy.
Jeff's gonna be a grandpa again?
Yeah, I totally knew. Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
December 6th. Big deal.
Okay, quick question. Wellness plan. We are trying to make some changes to it for the next year, the October 1st to September 30th year, the one coming up, just to maybe incentivize it a little bit more. What would you all think about offering a health premium holiday for one of the things? And that would be like if you reach certain goals and you reach a certain level with your points, you get like December, the county would pay your portion of the premiums, your health insurance.
Except for we're already paying 100% of a single.
9/1.
We're not doing that? I guess no, we made them pay a little bit last year.
Yeah,
didn't we? Forgot
dental
about
we are, there are 2 plans that we pay all of the single.
that. Right, I forgot about that. What's that amount to dollar-wise on the average?
Well, it just depends. For the single folks, the single non-smoking people, it's like $4. So it's really not a huge incentive, 4 to 6, but if you have a family person, then it's a big incentive. You want to think about it? Okay. And you did say it was.
The gift card. The card, the credit card thing is
They
also.
are-
right.
Yeah, we're doing
But
that
you're already
this year.
pulling part of that.
We will
you know.
pull some of that, not a lot, we're not taking a lot of those points. But, okay, the next thing I have is an executive
Okay,
session.
but hold on that, how many employees do you have taking advantage of that help?
The wellness, we
Yeah.
don't have many, there's maybe 13 on this year, but it's up from like 8 last year.
Oh, that's
So
growing.
we're doing,
And my papers on my desk, so 14.
okay, we have 14. And I think we'll have more, and I think we'll have more on the next year though, because people have already reached out after our open.
But you can only get in at open enrollment for that?
You can get it anytime you want, but we are giving 10 extra points if you sign up during open enrollment.
See if I'd have sat through one of those meetings, I'd have done that. I'll do it if you did.
You're getting enough exercise right there.
What, yeah, but you get to count, you get to.
Exercise.
Yeah.
I'll do it
Those
if
are
you did.
points. You get your teeth cleaned, you get points. If you go to the eye doctor, you get points.
Scribble that, I'll do it if you did. Give me vaccine?
Yes.
Flu shot.
you get points.
Oh,
You get
yeah,
flu
I
shot,
know.
you get points.
Oh, come on, big boy.
If you contribute to a retirement plan other than papers, you get points.
Volunteering.
Volunteering, you get points.
And I get them.
I'll do it if you did.
I did my volunteer, right? I'm getting some,
Looks like you're in, you're a shoe in.
I volunteered, did a little paint.
She'll give you an extra vacation day.
I'm good. I donate. I'm good.
Losers. All right, go ahead.
So, okay, but.
When's the health fair out here usually?
It's changed, it's gonna be this
Yes,
fall.
it's in October this year,
But
and it's
they're
not
not
a health fair.
It's not a day, it's like.
Well,
It's
so
like 3
long.
days of blood draws.
Yeah, they changed it, yeah.
But, yeah, and we'll get some of that information out too, because you can get points for doing
All right, you want an executive
I
session?
do, I need one, I've got really few different things to talk about, non-elected employees.
What,
Still
2 hours?
15 minutes.
15.
30?
It's 30. You
So
got
move
it.
that Jeff is into day 30.
You chatty?
Huh?
Are you chatty today?
No, but Darren tried it, it's last at least.
I gotta get up 3 times, go shut that, open that door.
I tried.
Let's do 30, because that way we don't have to click that thing off.
All right.
Yeah?
Cindy, yes, sir?
Jeff made the motion to go into executive session, subject to be discussed will be personnel matters, correct?
Yes, for non-elected.
Okay, justification for closing the meeting is to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. The open meeting will resume in this room at 11:40. All in favor?
You gotta talk fast.
I can do that.
Ryan's getting up to extend this time. Deborah, you see? 11:40, we run on time.
We did it, we're done.
My goodness. What?
Have we ever not had to extend?
Like we knew what we were doing.
We gave up on 10:05.
It only took twice as long as 15.
All right, no action taken in that executive session.
Y'all need anything else from me? Everything good? I sent out the cell phone email. I have a different one that I'm gonna work on for people outside of the courthouse. And I'll get it out today if that's okay. Mike Bennett did talk to me about it, and he's gonna talk to his manager.
Okay. That deal I sent you on the daycare deal, I don't know if that's a real thing or not, because we get so many emails on here that I don't know if it's an advertisement for something. Did you guys get that daycare email about, I don't even know what she does. I just know what, I don't know
Oh,
what
that's
she's
fine.
for.
I've got
Anyway.
a couple of options. I've got to get benefits done so we can run payroll this week. But hopefully by Wednesday, I will be able to do that stuff.
Okay, yeah. I just sent it to you because I knew you were thinking about doing something
Yeah,
or something
but
there.
I'll get started on that project.
Okay. Where's that at?
You should have to bear it.
It's random.
Where is that? Where's that? Where? Let's go.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's got volume. It's probably.
I can turn it down.
Ready to strike them.
Are you done?
But it's,
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good week.
mainly it's good. So that needs to be adjusted. This is his point.
You got all here.
Brings that one.
Justice accidentally printed the wrong dates for those three, so we just need to resend them.
Yeah, Justice.
Yeah. All you gotta do. You wanna do a top two or wait?
Right here in front of the door.
I think there's a couple of them. I don't know.
Who's that from? You may come
It'll be-
here. Are you good, Sean? Or
No.
Oh.
No,
Shelley's
I'm
got
not
it.
good. It's, no, I'm not good.
It's
I'm
not
not
too,
good.
it's not
No.
2:30 yet.
I know, but it is budget stuff,
Oh.
so Melinda found a couple errors on this. The first one was the clerk's value. There was a correction and I did not get it entered onto the form, so we got that updated. Second, I did not get the $190,000 transfer approved for community development. So, but Shelly has like $188,000 still left in her fund from like previous years. And then, just a moving of a number which did not affect anything. So the actual mill levy went down to 58.894. It was 59.014. So actually Henderson until like Friday afternoon. So I just didn't have time to like get with you guys before I had to meet in the paper. And then one last thing. Melinda said, I would reiterate to the board and all departments to carefully watch their spending based on cash projections going into 2023. There's quite a change. Health started 2022 with 221,000 and will only start 23 with 73,000. So
Because our cash carryovers not as much.
yeah, so that was just some of that. So you guys,
We do that, it's coming up.
yeah, so in the station, like, you know, that chip went down just a little bit. Because of some errors.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We didn't approve that minutes.
Oh, you want to do that?
I didn't say that wrong.
The first one was August 22nd minutes.
Yep.
And you got, was that about 24th?
Yeah, and then the
25th?
25th, yeah. Somebody will make that motion on the 22nd. Darren did, all in favor?
Aye.
And then the 24th, Jeff made that one, all in favor? Aye. And then the 20, Darren made that one, all in favor? Aye.
Who made the 22nd?
I did.
Darren?
It went like this, boom, boom, boom.
It's like a clock.
23rd, and 24th, and 25th?
And 25th.
I made the middle.
There's three.
Keep up.
And I'm looking on the.
Are you finished, Darren? You got anything else? Jeff, you good?
You have anything else?
I'm good, I almost have minutes done, you'll have them today.